It is flu season, and it's been a rough one in this area. We had the flu about a month ago, so I just wanted to share how we used homeopathy to help lessen our flu-like symptoms. I just did a video about oscillococcinum, which is the more commonly known over-the-counter remedy, and if you want to check that out to see how we use that, go ahead. And I find that oscillococcinum is best used at the beginning of any sort of symptoms coming on. So I find that I actually need to take it before I have flu-like symptoms. So as soon as I start to feel a little bit run down, if I take it, sometimes it can hold off or thwart it from coming on. Other people, I have heard it works great for them once they actually have flu-like symptoms. So you'd have to try it and see how it works for you. But the best way to use homeopathy is to match your symptoms with the symptoms of one particular remedy. So I'm going to talk about 4 remedies that are commonly used for flu. This is not an exhaustive list. We had 4 people that were sick with the flu, and all of us needed a different remedy because our symptoms were different. So we have this homeopathic kit. It has 36 remedies in it, and I have linked to it in my description of this video, and you can buy it on Amazon. And inside are 36 of the most commonly used homeopathic remedies. So the 4 remedies I'm going to talk about today are in this, and these 4 remedies can be used for other things besides the flu. So it's not just like I have the flu, so find one that's flu. It's matching your symptoms to one remedy. So for example, the first remedy I'm going to talk about is a common one at the very beginning of flu-like symptoms. As soon as you start to have a fever and the fever comes on very suddenly, the person becomes anxious and they might be restless. Aconite is a good one to take at that point. So aconite is great for anything that produces a sense of shock or a state of shock. So it could be like you got in a car accident and you're in a state of shock, or any sort of accident, or if you cut yourself and you're very sensitive to the sight of an injury, you can be in the state of shock. So aconite is good for anything that is a state of shock, but it can also be good for a flu that comes on very suddenly and the person is anxious and kind of in a state of shock. Another sudden onset remedy is belladonna. The difference with this one is while the flu comes on suddenly, the person's face is very red, very hot, and they might have like a severe throbbing headache, and they might have a high fever but have no thirst. So that's a peculiar thing about belladonna that can point you to that remedy. Bryonia, on the other hand, is a very slow onset flu. So this is like for days you feel like, oh, I think I'm getting something, I don't feel right, and then all of a sudden you have a fever. But it's not really all of a sudden because it's taken days to develop. This remedy is great for any sort of ailment that feels worse with any movement. So this person just does not want to move. They just want to be very still, because any slight movement can make the pain worse or make your symptoms worse. So this is actually the remedy that I needed for the flu. I had a terrible left-sided headache, and when I would move at all, it would get worse. So I would just be like lying on my side, holding my head and not wanting to move. And when I took this remedy, I would say within 30 minutes my headache got less, and then in a few hours it was almost completely gone. And I think over the next 2 or 3 days I might have taken 2 more doses to get all the way back to normal. And my kids took things different than what I took because they had different symptoms. So another one of my children used this next remedy, which is actually one of the most common remedies for flu. It's like the classic flu remedy. It's called gelsemium. And it's the remedy for when you're sick, you might have a fever, and you feel so lethargic. You're just like, I cannot move, I'm exhausted. And the unique thing about this remedy is that you feel like your legs are like, have lead in them. Like it's just heavy. There's a heaviness about gelsemium. So it's kind of just a classic flu picture. And I actually read about the flu epidemic of 1918. Gelsemium was one of the most commonly used remedies that helped to save people's lives because it was a very deadly flu. And in our area, gelsemium was used quite often by the local homeopath, and he lost exactly 0 patients. So it's a great story, and I hope to go into that in a future video. But those are just 4 of the common remedies used for flu. It's best to have a kit on hand so that you have the remedies when you need them, because the last thing you want to do when you have the flu is try to find a remedy at a store, which they're not at Whole Foods anymore, unfortunately. That's where I used to go to get them if I needed something I didn't have. So it's best to just have a kit on hand that has common remedies so that you have things if you need them. And these are less than $2 a remedy, $2 a bottle. So it's very cost effective. And like I said, they can be used for many different things. So it's not just for flu. And there's probably about 50 pellets in each bottle. You only need to take one. You wait. With homeopathy, you want the minimum dose. It's not like you take one every hour, or you actually just want to take one and wait a bit, an hour or two, see how you feel. If you feel like you're getting a little bit better, then you stop taking it. And then if you feel like, oh, I'm starting to get worse again, then you would take another dose. So you just want the minimum dose, because what you're doing is actually matching the symptoms of your body. And when you give that remedy, you're actually just stimulating your own body to say, hey, we need to get it together and get rid of this disturbance in my body. So the purpose of the remedy is to stimulate your body to heal itself. So these are remedies that are common, but like I said, there's many different remedies that you can use. And if you're having trouble pinpointing the remedy that you need, there's a great resource online, Homeopathy 24/7. They have homeopaths from around the world who are available around the clock 24/7, and you can email them and they'll get back to you right away, and you can have a consult, and it's very inexpensive, less than going to an urgent care, and they can help you determine what remedy that you need. And then if you have a kit on hand, then you'll have it and be able to use it, and then they follow up with you for up to a week. So I'm not associated with them in any way. I just think it's a great service for when you're getting started and you're not really sure what you need. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Thanks.